Good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Doug, can we go on the record?
Yes, you're on the record, Your Honor. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Good afternoon. Today is Monday, June 2nd, 2025. It's approximately 2 p.m. My name is Christine Burke. I'm a public utility law judge with the Maryland Public Service Commission. We're here today for an evidentiary hearing in case number 9743, which is captioned the application of Croom Road Solar LLC for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to construct a 5 megawatt solar photovoltaic generating facility in Prince George's County, Maryland. Can I have the appearances of counsel, please, beginning with the applicant?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David Buglemans on behalf of the applicant.
Good afternoon. For PPRP?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Assistant Attorney General Steve Tolson on behalf of PPRP.
Thank you. And staff?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jennifer Purvis, Assistant Staff Counsel, appearing on behalf of staff.
Good afternoon. This hearing is continued from May the 20th, and it was continued for the applicant to supplement the record and for the parties to respond to a bench data request that I issued. Counsel for the applicant, I have reviewed what was filed. Do you want to begin with your exhibits and testimony?
Sure, Your Honor. I think what we could do to begin is perhaps deal with the exhibits, and then we have Joanne Blank from Stantec on, who prepared the decommissioning cost estimates. She's available to answer your questions, as well as Mr. Pippin and Melissa Hall and Dane Bauer. But we could begin with the exhibits and then make the witnesses available.
Okay.
Okay, so to begin, I think just to make sure the record is complete, we've already marked applicant exhibits 8 and 13. And so I'd request to move those into evidence at this time.
Okay, and there's no objection?
No objection from staff, Your Honor.
Okay. Applicants exhibit 8 and exhibit 13 will be moved into the record. And just for clarification, exhibit 8 was the initial decommissioning plan filed on October 14th, 2024. Exhibit 13 would be the updated project site plan and decommissioning plan filed January 16th, 2025.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
And then I would also request to mark as applicant exhibit 18 the response to your bench data request, which is it's primarily the updated decommissioning plan that was filed under mailing number 319099 on May 23rd, 2025.
Okay. My only suggestion will be that we move each exhibit 18 and 19 would be the decommissioning plan and attachment, and 18 will be the response to the BDR.
Okay.
Which would be the letter, to keep them separate so there's no confusion. Okay. And there's no objection from any of the parties as to admitting those to the record.
No objection.
No objection.
No objection.
Exhibits 18 and 19 will be entered into the record. And with the updated information, I don't have any questions with the update as far as witnesses Hall and Bauer, but I do for the representative of Stantec that's present.
I am here. Thank you.
Okay, could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
And you are the person primarily responsible for the decommissioning cost estimate, is that correct?
Yes, my name is Joanne Blank, and I'm a senior associate at Stantec, and I am the team leader of the decommissioning plan and estimate team. So I am the person responsible and was directly involved in this document.
With respect to the costs that are labeled in section 3.0 decommissioning cost estimate summary, there is in the revised document, which is now marked as exhibit 18, I believe. It says costs list in table 3 include the following estimated transportation costs, and there's 6 items listed under that.
Correct.
How were those transportation costs calculated?
We generally take, we look at the weight, the tonnage of what the expected materials will be. And we use a 20 cents per ton mile, I believe it is, rate that so we figure in a distance of about 25 miles from the site and the weight of the product and what types of trucks will be used.
Okay, so the distance was not calculated based on the 2 facilities that were identified in the decommissioning plan?
The facilities are actually closer than what we have estimated, because we all know that, 25 years from now, when this is decommissioned, those facilities may not, there'll be other facilities that would likely be present also.
With respect to the first item that's on that table 3, overhead and management cost, I noticed that amount decreased from the first 2 plans that were submitted. Can you explain why?
So I believe in the initial plan, there was a cost for the careful handling and additional freight to send the solar modules to a resale facility that was further away. And so that's why those costs, have decreased slightly.
So I see, is that distinguished from the transportation to refurbisher item that is eliminated from that table?
Correct.
They're 2 different items.
Yes.
Can you explain what the difference is?
Sure. There's just a difference in what it would take to take modules to a nearby recycler, or a 25-mile distant recycler, or disposal, versus at this point there aren't refurbishers that we can identify, that we know of, that would be within that distance. So we have calculated that there would be, and there's just going to be additional transportation because the modules would have to be put very carefully into pallets and protected for transportation if they're going to be used for resale. So the initial plan included a very conservative resale amount that we would expect to get from the panels within the first 5 years. And so that transportation cost was the expected transportation to get it to a refurbisher.
How are I understand that as far as the last item being taken off the table. My question has to do with the overhead and management, which was the first item, that item decreasing.
Oh, okay. My apologies. So the difference is just that it's considered as a percent of the total. And so that percent included that specialized freight in it. The costs of permitting, et cetera, other overhead and management, wouldn't change.
Are there any additional costs to bonding that are not included here?
Not from a decommissioning perspective, no. I would defer to Mr. Bigelmans for anything else.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions in light of my questions?
No questions from staff, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, anything else from the applicant?
I have nothing to add, Your Honor. Again, we have all of our witnesses here if you have any additional questions, but that's it for us.
Okay. Mr. Tolson?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I have with me this afternoon PPRP's project manager, Supita Pinkow. And we also have two new exhibits that I would like to be marked next in order. These were e-filed on May 27th under mail log number 319137, and they consist of the clean and redlined revised recommended licensing conditions of PPRP. I was not at the May 20th hearing, so I'm not sure what number those are next in order, but perhaps the court reporter can advise.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last part. Which
But
exhibit
as to the numerical designation of these
I
exhibits,
believe they would be 13 and 4. We were up to 12.
okay, well then I would have them marked as 13 and 14 for identification, and then I would move for their admission into the record.
Okay. Is there any objection from anyone?
No objection.
Okay.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, PPRP's exhibits marked 13 and 14 will be moved into the record. Those are the updated revised recommended license conditions that were filed on May the 27th. One is the clean version and one is the red line version.
Correct. Do you have questions for Ms. Pinkow, Your Honor?
I just, for clarification purposes, yes.
Would you like me
Would
to
you please
voir dire
raise your
her
right
again?
hand?
Oh, you're going to do it. Okay.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
The updated recommended license conditions contains an update to the bond amount. Does PPRP find the new updated amount reasonable to cover the costs of decommissioning?
Yes, Your Honor.
And one other question with regard to your direct testimony on page 34, it stated that the applicant does not discuss the handling or disposal of modules other than a general statement that project components will be recycled to the maximum extent possible or disposed of at an appropriate licensed facility. Does the updated information supplied satisfy PPRP?
That's,
respect-
I'm not aware of that, Your Honor, but because given that the applicant will not factor into, will not include the salvage value into the cost, so that may not seems to be, it
Well,
may.
I'm talking about the plan. I'm not talking about the salvage value or the cost estimate now. I'm talking about on page 34 of your testimony, you stated that the applicant did not discuss handling or disposal of modules other than a general statement. The updated plan includes information about a specific location that was identified for disposal of the panels and components. I believe page 5 of the updated decommissioning plan.
Give me 1 second, please. You said page 5?
Yes, of the plan. Not the attachment, but of the facility decommissioning plan, page 5 at the top. Under 3.2, the applicant's now identified 2 places.
Yes, that will be sufficient, Your Honor. And then they are also state that hazardous waste will not anticipate as well.
Okay. All right, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you,
for
Your Honor.
witness speak out. All right. Are there any other issues that we need to address?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
None from staff.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And we can go off the record. Have a good day.
All right.
Thank
you,
Everybody, thanks.
Off the record.